Hello friends, welcome to this class. My name is Mike and today we'll be doing a full hour-long flow with some fun transitions and some fun challenges. So if you're looking for a strong practice to do today, this class is definitely for you. If you have a block, go ahead and grab it. We'll be using a block for one part of class. If you don't have one, don't worry about it. You'll be totally fine without it. As always, modify however you need to and take breaks as needed throughout this class. So I hope you enjoy and let's get started. All right, friends, welcome to this practice. If you have a block handy, go ahead and grab it. If you don't have one, that's perfectly fine. You'll be totally fine doing this class without one. And we'll start in child's pose. So go ahead and bring your knees as wide as the edges of your mat. Sit your hips back to the heels. Bring your forehead down to the ground. Find stillness inside your body. The main reason we start our practice in stillness is to allow the mind to settle. And the goal is never to completely quiet the mind. We're not trying to eradicate our thoughts or our emotions, but we're just allowing everything to kind of settle down. We're allowing ourselves to become more aware of what's happening inside our mind. What emotions do we feel inside our body? And you might start to bring your attention to your breath, feeling the sensation of the breath. What an amazing thing the breath is. It's always here, but rarely are we aware of it. So start to notice. Notice it's here. Notice how it feels as you deepen the breath, taking long, full inhales. Feel that expansion as you breathe in. And the relaxation as you soften and exhale out. Take 3 deep breaths. One more breath. And then when you're ready, we'll come into a tabletop position on the hands and knees. So go ahead, stack your shoulders on top of your wrists, stack your hips over your knees. Spread your fingers nice and wide. And we'll start to link the breath with some movements here. We'll start with cat-cows. With an inhale, drop your belly down towards your mat as you gaze up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin towards your chest. Good. Again, as you inhale, drop your belly down, lift your chin, open your throat. And exhale, round your spine, drop the head down. Inhale, fill up the lungs, gaze up. Exhale, press your mid-back up towards the sky. And last time, inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest and the head. And exhale, round the back. Great, and then come back to a flat back here in our tabletop. From here, flip your fingertips back to face towards your knees. And you can play with what feels good. So you can keep the palms of your hands facing down, or you can play with bringing the backs of your hands to touch your mat today. And then just start to drop your hips back towards your heels. Take some movement here. Feel that stretch through your forearms and your wrists. Good. And then we'll bring the hands towards the top of the mat with the palms facing down. Go ahead and tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. So feel free to add in a little movement here. Maybe pedal the feet out, shake the head, yes, shake it, no. Maybe rock the hips from side to side. And then we'll find stillness here in downward dog. Ground down through your heels. Anchor the tips of your fingers into your mat. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out your mouth. Look to the top of your mat. Step your feet all the way to your hands. And we'll come into a ragdoll pose here, bringing opposite hand to opposite elbow. Drop your head. Feel free to take a bend in your knees here if that feels good. And you can add in movement, rocking side to side, or bouncing the elbows up and down. Take 2 more breaths. With your next exhale, release your arms, bring your hands down to the ground. So as we go through our movements, do your best to stay focused on the breath throughout each transition. And with an inhale, we'll take a halfway lift here. So you can keep your fingers on your mat, or you can press your palms into your shins to lengthen your spine. Gaze forward. And as you exhale, drop your head, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Gaze up. Press your palms together. And as you exhale, bring your hands down to heart center. Nice. And from here, relax your hands down towards your hips. And with an inhale, again, sweep the arms up. Press the palms together. And as you exhale, fold forward. Relax your head. Inhale, find that halfway lift, a flat back. And as you exhale, plant your palms. Step back into a high plank position. So you can always lower your knees if you need to at any point. Otherwise, do your best to keep them lifted. Send your heels towards the back of your mat. Send your head towards the top of your mat. Squeeze your belly button upwards towards your spine, engaging your core. Take 1 more breath in. And as you exhale, lower your knees down. If they're still lifted, go ahead and bend your elbows, bring your chest all the way down to the mat. Press the tops of your feet down into the ground. Keep your pelvis grounding down. Just lift your chest with your next inhale, coming into Bhujangasana, baby cobra. Roll your shoulders away from your ears. Take 1 more breath. And with your exhale, lower the chest down to the ground. Inhale, press up onto your hands and knees in a tabletop position. And as you exhale, roll back downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, step your foot all the way forward. Feel free to take a couple steps to get it there. Then drop your back knee down to the ground. With your next inhale, reach your arms up into Anjaneyasana. Work to find length through the sides of your body, all the way up through the tips of your fingers. From here, with your left hand, grab your right wrist. And then engage your left glute. And then we're going to take a little side bend over to the left side of the mat. So the hands reach to the left side. Try and keep your left glute engaged. And then come back up to center and just switch your grip. So the right hand is going to grab the left wrist, and then we'll bend over to the right side of our mats. Feel that stretch through the left side of your body. And then come back up to center. Inhale, reach the arms up, spread the fingertips. And as you exhale, lower your fingertips to frame your front foot. Take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, we'll move into a half split. Straighten your right leg, send your hips back. And we'll take a little variation today of this. So allow your right toes to drop over towards the right side of your mat. And then lower your hips to the left side of your mat. And notice where you feel that stretch in your leg. Take 2 breaths here. Okay, let's start to bend back into your right knee. Plant the foot down. Plant your palms, top of your mat. And we'll take a big step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, step it through, top of the mat. Drop your back knee down to the ground. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, arms reach up. Finding that lift through your chest, through the rib cage, all the way up through the tips of your fingers. Try and engage your right glute muscle. And then with your right hand, grab your left wrist. Start to send your hips to the left just a little bit as your arms reach to the right, finding that side stretch. One more breath here. And then start to come back up to center and switch the grip. So the left hand grabs the right wrist, and then the arms reach left as the hips move right. And then start to come back to center. Inhale, reach the arms up, maybe gaze up here. And as you exhale, lower your fingers to frame your left foot. Inhale, take a breath, lift your chest. Exhale, find your half split here. Straighten the left leg. Flex your left foot. And then allow your left toes to drop open to the left side of your mat as you lower your hips to the right side. And again, just kind of notice where you feel the stretch. Take 2 breaths, soften into it. And then start to bend back into your left knee, plant the foot down, plant your palms, and we'll take a big step back, downward facing dog. Take 3 rounds of breath here. Take your final breath. Great, and then gaze to the top of your mat. Step your feet all the way to your hands. So your feet can be hips width distance apart, or you can bring your big toes together, whatever feels more comfortable for you. With an inhale, find a halfway lift. As you exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Stretch the arms up, press the palms together. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. All right, we'll go through some sun salutations here. So relax your hands down towards your hips. And with a big breath in, sweep your arms up into mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Flowing with the breath. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms. Step back into high plank position. And we'll move straight into our first chaturanga of the day. So bend your elbows to hover your chest above your mat. Now you can keep your knees lifted or feel free to lower them down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Lift your chest, lift your knees. Exhale, roll over your toes, downward facing dog. Pause here for 2 breaths. Gaze to the top of your mat. Step or jump your feet forward. Inhale, find a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up to stand, mountain pose. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll do that same round of movements again. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, plant your palms, step back, high plank, and we'll lower straight into our low plank, chaturanga. Again, knees can lower or stay lifted here. Inhale, upward facing dog. Firm your thighs, roll your shoulders back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause here for 1 breath. Gaze forward, step or float the feet forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand up, straighten the arms up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last round here. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, fold forward. Relax your head down towards your ankles. Inhale, halfway lift. Gaze in front of you. Exhale, plant the palms, step, or if you'd like to jump back into your chaturanga, take a little hop back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Lift your chest, maybe gaze up, drop the head back. Exhale, roll back, downward facing dog. Good work. Gaze forward, travel the feet between your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, drop the head, forward fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. So bring your big toes together, top of your mat. If it feels more steady for you, you can always bring the feet about hips width distance here. So do what feels right. Arms are reaching up towards the ceiling. Allow your hips to sink a little bit back towards your heels and then drop them a little bit lower towards the ground. And then from here, see if you can lift your chest and your arms a little higher. And breathe here for 3, 2, take 1 more breath. And with your exhale, fold forward, straighten your legs. Let that go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, your choice here. So you can step straight back into downward dog, or if you'd like to add on a vinyasa like we've been doing, you'll come into your high plank, lower into low plank, inhale into up dog, exhale into downward dog. So as you start to get comfortable with the movements involved in a vinyasa, which is what we just did, high to low plank, up dog to down dog, feel free to go at your own pace. You don't have to keep up with my breath count. You can follow yours. Inhale, lift your right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. From here, keep your back knee lifted. And with an inhale, reach your right arm open towards the ceiling. Maybe gaze up towards your top fingertips here. Try and keep most of your weight in the right foot. So you shouldn't have too much weight in your left hand here. Work to spiral open through your top arm. Take one more breath. Good. From here, lower your right hand down to the mat. With an inhale, reach your arms up, coming into high lunge. Come high onto your back toes. Sink deeply into your front knee. Find stillness. Find your breath. Feel your breath. From here, reach your arms towards the top of your mat. Start to lower your chest down to hover above your right knee. Get light on your back toes. And then we'll transition into Warrior 3. So start to lift your back leg. You might be a little wobbly here. That's okay. First balancing pose. You can keep your arms reaching forwards or bring your hands to heart center. Try and bring your chest so it's parallel to the ground. Anchor down through the right big toe of your grounding foot for 3, 2, 1. From here, keep your left leg lifted. Come all the way up to stand. Bend your left knee in front of you, standing leg raise. You can keep your hands at heart center or option to reach the arms up. Breathing deeply. From here, bring your right hand across your body on top of your left knee. Reach your left arm behind you. Maybe gaze towards your back fingertips. You can stay here if you want to challenge yourself a bit. Grab the outer edge of your left foot with your right hand. And then start to straighten your leg. Wherever you go is perfectly fine. Take one more breath. Good. And then start to twist back to center. Try and keep your balance and lower your left foot down to the mat. Relax your hands to your sides. Take a deep breath in. Exhale out. Great job. Kick your right foot behind you. And with your right hand, grab the inner edge of your right foot. So the big toe side of your foot. Reach your left arm in front of you. We'll start to move into dancer pose here. So kick back into your hand. Reach forwards with your left arm. You can bend your left knee a little bit here if that feels more steady. Breathing deeply for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly start to come back to center and release your foot lower down. Good job. Inhale, mountain pose, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, plant your palms and either step back into downward dog or take a little flow back through your vinyasa, following your own breath. Inhale, lift your left leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, place your foot forward. Ground your right palm down into the mat. Inhale, reach your left arm up and open. Maybe gaze up towards the fingertips. And again, notice where the weight is. Is it in your front foot or is it more in your front hand? Try and get most of your weight in that left leg through the left foot. Spiral open through the left side body. One more breath. And as you exhale, lower the left fingertips down to the mat. Inhale, rise up into our high lunge. So try and engage your back leg as much as you can. Try and lift your back knee up towards the sky. And at the same time, a nice bend into your front knee. Breathe for a moment of stillness here. And then start to reach the arms towards the top of the mat. Slowly lift your back leg, warrior 3. Continue to reach your arms forward or bring your hands to heart center. Find stillness here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come all the way up to stand. Lift your right knee in front of you. Strong left leg. Keep your hands at heart center or reach them up to the sky. Take a couple breaths here. From here, bring your left hand across on top of your right knee. Reach your right arm behind you. Maybe gaze back towards your hand. And again, stay here or challenge yourself by bringing your left hand to the outer edge of your right foot and then straighten your right leg for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come back to center. Release your right foot down. I used my wall to help me there. I cheated, so if you did, that's okay. From here, kick your left leg behind you. Bring your left hand to the inner edge of the foot. Reach your right arm forwards. And then start to move into dancer pose. Use your breath as a tool to find relaxation in the pose, even when it's difficult. Kick back a little more with your exhales. Reach forward a little more with your inhales for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come back to center. Lower your foot down. Good work. Inhale, mountain pose. Reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms flat. Step back into dog or flow your way back. Good work, yogis. We're going to move into a malasana prayer squat. So you can step your feet to the top of your mat, or if you'd like to play with a little hop, you'll bend your knees, gaze forward, land your feet on the outer edges of your hands. So take any route to get here. Then go ahead and bring your hands to heart center. Find some length through your spine. Gently press your knees into your elbows, and at the same time, kind of press the elbows back into your knees, creating this counter force. Stay right here if you'd like to keep this hip opener going, or if you'd rather take on an arm balance, we'll play with a crow pose here. So you'll plant your palms, spread your fingers nice and wide, gaze in front of you, bring your knees towards the backs of your arms, so you can play with the placement here, whatever feels steady with your knees, and then go for it. Maybe lift 1 foot, maybe lift 2 feet. If you're in it, try and hold as long as you can. Keep lifting your heels up towards your glutes. So you can hang out here. If you want to play with a jump back from crow pose, you'll shoot your feet towards the back of your mat, bend your elbows, land in your chaturanga, and then you can flow back into downward facing dog. So if you were just playing with crow pose, that's perfectly fine. It's not about nailing every pose. It's about exploring the different shapes with your body. So I acknowledge your effort wherever you went there. From here, go ahead and drop your knees down towards your mat and come onto your back. Now, if you have your block handy, go ahead and grab your block. And again, if you don't have one, that's perfectly fine. You'll be able to do this next movement without one. If you have a block, go ahead and bring it between your feet. So you're going to grip the block with your feet. And if you don't have a block, just imagine as if you have a block and you're squeezing it between your legs here. And we're going to move into Navasana boat pose. So option 1, keep your knees bent. You can even bring your hands to the backs of your knees here. If this is easy for you, you can straighten your legs, reach your arms forward, and hold here for 3. Squeezing that block for 2. And 1. We'll move into low boat. So hover your heels, hover your head. Keep squeezing your legs together for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, high boat. Lift the chest. Lift your low back for 3. Breathe. 2. And 1. Low boat. Ground the low back down into the mat. 3, 2. You got this. 1. Inhale, high boat. You can hear my voice shaking because my body is shaking. It's hard for me too. Last round for 3, 2, 1. Last time here. Low boat. 3. Squeeze that block. 2. And 1. Lower your head. Lower your block. Kick your block away to the side. Good work. From here, we'll move right into a back bend, bridge pose. So slide your heels all the way up towards your glutes. And without hesitation, lift your hips up to the sky. You can keep your palms pressing down into your mat, or option to interlace your fingertips and straighten your arms out. If you have the fingertips interlaced, you can kind of walk your shoulder blades towards each other on your upper back to create more lift in your spine. Ground the heels down, keep lifting the hips high up. Take 3 more breaths. You can stay here. If you'd like to move into low pose, if it's in your practice, feel free to plant your palms, rise all the way up, or just hang out in bridge pose Whatever works for you today. We'll take our last breath here. And then slow and controlled, start to lower onto your back. Good. We'll come into Supta Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of your feet together. Let your knees fall open to the sides of your mat. Maybe let the eyes close. Feel free to bring a hand over your heart and a hand over your belly here. Yoga is just being aware of what's happening in the moment inside our body. Notice the breath. Notice the heartbeat. Yoga isn't some magical, mystical practice. It's really just being aware of what's really happening. What's always happening. The things that are always happening, but that we often overlook during our day-to-day life. We're coming back and we're zooming our attention in, and we're really becoming aware of those things. The breath, the sensations inside the body, our thoughts, our emotions, all things that are normal in a living human being that we all experience. You can hang out here if you'd like, or feel free to come into happy baby pose, bringing your hands to the outer edges of your feet. Maybe rock a little side to side, massaging your lower back, your sacrum. And then go ahead and hug your knees into your chest and bring your hands towards the backs of your knees here. And we're going to roll 3 times up and down the length of our mats, 1 vertebrae at a time. And on the 3rd time, we'll land in a seated position at the top of the mat. From here, straighten your legs. Bring your right foot to the left inner thigh of your left leg. And then flex your left toes. So you're pulling your left toes back towards your body. With an inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. And as you exhale, fold over the left leg. You can bring your hands to your ankles. You can grab the outer edges of your feet if that's accessible. If you have a lot of hamstring flexibility, you can bring one hand to the opposite wrist behind your foot. And whatever hand variation you have, just relax your head down towards the knee. Take 3 breaths into the back of your leg. One more breath. Great, and then release your grip. Start to bring your chest back up. And we'll switch our legs here. Right leg straightens out, left foot comes to the right inner thigh. Flex your right toes. Inhale, reach the arms up, gaze up. Exhale, fold forward. Grab whatever is accessible on this side. Soften the nose down towards your knee. Take 3 mindful breaths. Try and feel each inhale and each exhale. And then release your grip here. From here, plant your palms and just go ahead and cross your ankles, and we'll take a big step back into downward facing dog. And with an inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, bend your right knee. Start to open your right hip here. So the right heel is going to fall towards the left side of your mat. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, we'll come into half pigeon pose. So swing your knee forwards, drop your back knee down. And take any variation here, whatever feels comfortable for you. You can bring your forearms to a block or down to the ground. You can crawl your fingers forward, bringing your chest all the way down. Take 5 breaths here. Two more breaths. And start to lift your chest back up. Swing your right foot all the way back, downward facing dog. Take some movement here to counter stretch. I like to bend my right knee and then make some circles. And then we'll find our standard downward dog, both feet down on the ground. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, bend your left knee, start to open the hip. Press your right heel down, lift your left knee a little higher up. Take a deep breath in. And exhale, half pigeon pose. Feel all the sensations of the stretch. Yoga is a practice of acceptance, not trying to change anything, but just accepting all that is happening. Accepting the different sensations without trying to push them away or for wanting a different type of sensation to be present, but just accepting what's really happening unconditionally from moment to moment. 5 breaths here. As you find stillness, you might start to find your mind drifting off a little bit, and that's perfectly normal, but whenever it happens, see if you can bring your attention back into your body. Your breath is always here to anchor your attention back to the practice. We'll take our last 2 breaths here. And then we'll start to lift back up. Swing your left foot all the way back, downward facing dog. And take your counter stretches here. And then we'll meet back in our downward dog, both feet on the ground. From here, just drop your knees down to your mat and then come onto your back. So we'll finish off our practice together today with some inversions. So if you have something in mind, you can take a headstand, maybe handstand, whatever whatever you're working on in your own practice, or I'll invite you to take a waterfall pose with me here. So you'll just lift your legs up towards the ceiling. If you have your block handy today, sometimes it feels really nice to bring the block behind your lower back. So your back is kind of on the edge of the block here. You can play with it to find what feels comfortable, or move in the shoulder stand. So bring your hands to your lower back. And then you can start to walk your hands up towards the mid-back, if that's accessible. Point your toes up to the ceiling. Find stillness wherever you are. These inversions are really healthy for our bodies. We're reversing the flow of blood. Our energy is moving in a way that it normally doesn't do in our day-to-day life. If you'd like to move into plow pose, you can drop your legs behind your head. If the toes touch down, feel free to interlace your fingertips and straighten your arms out. If the toes are still hovering above the ground, keep your hands on your back just to give yourself some extra support here. Make sure that you're breathing very deeply and mindfully if you're in plow pose especially. Take 3 more breaths wherever you are. And slowly start to make your way back flat on your back. Take your time getting there. Once you're on your back, go ahead and bring your big toes together at the top of your mat, and then bend your elbows to lift your upper back off of the ground. So your palms are facing down towards your mat. From here, we'll move into a Matsuyasana fish pose. So just drop your head back. So that's variation 1. If you'd like to come a little deeper today, you can bring the crown of your head down onto your mat, and then press your palms down into the mat. So wherever you go, try and lift your sternum, your chest bone up towards the sky, and breathe deeply in and out through your nose. 3 breaths. Last breath. Good. Start to bring your chin back towards your chest. Drop the back of your head down. That's a hard pose to talk in. So apologies if my voice was a little scratchy there. From here, hug your right knee into your chest. And with your left hand, go ahead and guide your right knee open to the left side of your body. And then open your right arm to the right side. Gaze over your right shoulder. Supine twist. One more breath. Slowly twist your way back to center. And switch your legs. Left knee hugs into the chest. Right leg extends straight out. And we'll drop that left knee open to the right side. Left arm opens left. Eye gaze is over the left shoulder. For 3 deep breaths. Soften into your low back and your hip. Last breath. and start to come back to center. Hug both of your knees into your chest here. And then wrap your arms around your shins, giving yourself a little hug in this shape. Try and get your whole back so it's flat on your mat. So especially focus on anchoring your sacrum and your lower back down into the ground. And at the same time, squeeze your legs towards your rib cage. And then flex your feet so you'll pull your toes backwards towards your knees. From here, lift your forehead up towards your knees. Squeeze everything together. So really try and exert all the energy that you have left inside your body. And just kind of notice how it feels to really activate all your muscles here, to really exert yourself physically. Notice what that feels like inside your body. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, release, open Shavasana. As you open up and relax, notice how that feels, moving into ease. You might find the sensations of tension just kind of fade away as new sensations replace those inside your body. And this is your time to let go here. So feel free to close your eyes. Take some movements, maybe wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, whatever you need to really relax your body. And just kind of let your mind drift off into open spaciousness as you surrender here for our last couple minutes of practice today. nice deep breath to fill up your lungs. And let it go out your mouth. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Start to bring your attention back into the body. And with another deep breath, reach your arms overhead. Find a full body stretch. And then go ahead and bend your knees into your chest and roll onto either side of your body, left or right. Finding a fetal position here. Each moment is an opportunity to find a different version of yourself. Our Shavasana represents the rebirth of ourself. The end of our previous self and then the birth of our new self. Whatever that might mean to you today. However that may look in your life. And we'll start to make our way up to a seated position, top of the mat. And find a nice comfortable seat. You can keep your eyes closed here. Find a tall spine. And just for a couple moments, just see if you can find your breath without trying to deepen your breath. See if you can feel the natural rhythm of your breath as it comes in and as it goes out. Then bring your hands to heart center, press your palms together. And we'll close our practice together with one deep breath. Take an inhale through your nose. Let it go out your mouth. And thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you feel good. It really is an honor to guide you through your practice. Namaste. Again, my name is Mike. If you have questions, comments, feedback for me, please drop me a comment below. Let me know how you did. If you have any recommendations or suggestions for my future videos, I'd love to hear them, and I'd love to connect with you. So feel free to drop me a comment, maybe leave a like or hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.